Okay, serious question. Is it okay for banks and mortgage brokers to encourage you to take out more on your mortgage, to encourage you to increase your HELOC, your home equity line of credit, to tempt you, in another way of saying, to tempt you into increasing your mortgage for various reasons? Is that a legit practice, or is that something that's fuckery? Okay, it's a serious question. I'm asking a serious question. I'm asking the audience. I'm asking you out there. Because there's two sides of it. There really is. So there's a side of it that says, look, Ron, it's a free country. It's a free enterprise country. It's a capitalistic system. If we want to approach people who are all adults, who already, they already have a mortgage, they already own a home, they're like regular folks who are not stupid. If we want to approach them and suggest to them it's a good idea to increase their mortgage and give some reasons, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine, okay? Is that true? Well, I'm sort of a believer that, you shouldn't try to talk people into increasing their mortgage. Like in our own company for 30 years, it's not something we've done in an organized way at all. Okay, let me explain. We've done tens of thousands of refinancing of mortgages to increase them for various reasons, to add a line of credit for something. So why? So people come to us, they contact us and they say, hey, I gotta put a suite in my basement. I really need that extra cash flow. It's gonna cost X. I think I got room on my equity. I think I'd like to increase my mortgage or add a line of credit to complete this renovation, to add this full suite in the basement. Or they come to us for some other kind of what they consider is a very important renovation need, or they get in some trouble, sometimes through no fault of their own, but mostly just overspending, that they want to consolidate debts, they want to pay some debts off. There's just a whole host of reasons. They come to us, they contact us. Our mortgage clients contact us about this stuff, and certainly if they ask us to do it, we're here to do transactions. That's why our company exists, so we will do it. But do we do it like an organized advertisement to go to people and say, hey, I think it's a great idea to increase your mortgage. Let me tell you why. No, we don't do that. But does that exist? Yes, that exists. That is to say that there are all kinds of approaches and contacts and advertising things that are done to encourage people to take a mortgage that is, say, running at $400,000 mortgage that's been paid down to like 15 years, and approach that person and say, hey, we got some great ideas that you might want to try, so to do great things with your life, remodel your kitchen, remodel your bathroom, change your backyard, put in a pool, fix everything up in the house, and there's lots of room, you got a lot of equity, you can easily qualify, and we'd like to get you $150,000 so you could do these various things. Is that morally legit? Again, in a free enterprise country, talking to adults, everything in theory is fine. But as long as you're telling the truth. And as long as the people qualify, like you're not trying to talk them into something that's going to harm them. But is it still wrong? Is it still inappropriate to try to go to people who in a perfect world should be paying down their mortgage and reaching a point where they don't have a mortgage someday, and encourage them to increase the mortgage for reasons that, may not be vital to their lives? I mean, let's face it. A brand new kitchen isn't vital. I know some people think it is. I get it. But is it really vital? Like is a pool vital to your life? I got people to tell you it is. But is it? So what struck me the other day is I came across a video on YouTube, and I've come across these things on various other social media platforms. But in this case, it was a mortgage sales, I guess he's gotten in the training business now or some damn thing. I've known this guy for years. So he's giving you a sort of step-by-step, very subtle, very crafty methods to talk people into changing the mortgage prior to renewal. Because when you go after people at renewal, which is completely legit, I want to find you a lower rate, sometimes the bank just matches and you can waste a lot of time. We don't mind doing it, but you can waste a lot of time and then you get no result except the client got a little bit better rate from his existing bank, which pisses a lot of mortgage brokers off. And bank reps do this as well, 100%. And bank reps sometimes use these kind of campaigns to convince people to increase their mortgage in order to accomplish something in their lives. And by the way, I'm not talking about, hey, you have a 6.19 rate and now I can get you a 4% rate, so let's examine the penalty and see if we can actually save you money. I am all for that. But that's not an increase in a mortgage. You may increase the mortgage just to pay the penalty, but that's actually you trying to get a better deal and better cash flow and a lower interest rate. And a lower interest rate will help you pay off your mortgage sooner. Just have to figure out whether the penalty makes sense, whether the math works of that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this guy going through this long song and dance because I guess he's trying to avoid being ashamed of himself. But to subtle ways, hey, I'm going to teach you how to call people every quarter, every 3 months, and just make it sound like you want to, talk about life and see how everything's going and, how's things with the family and, sound very you're just there because you're their friend. And then I'm going to show you ways to subtly encourage them. Maybe the rates are down a little and maybe, I wonder if anybody, just last week, one of my longtime borrowers talked about the fact that this might be the time to finally put in that pool and, in other words, planting the seeds of temptation to increase the mortgage to get something that people might want. But you approach it, you go way around the topic until you finally can sort of lay the trap. All right. I never really liked this guy very much. But anyway, I'm telling you that I got lots of mortgage brokers, some of whom I respect, tell me, no, Ron, that's completely legitimate. These people are all adults. They're all people who've got well enough along in their lives to get a mortgage. If we want to propose an increase to them, there's nothing wrong with that. I've also got a school of people who say mortgage brokers and bank reps, like commission bank reps at all the major banks, that exists. Even the credit unions have reps, sales reps. No, I don't think it's right. I think if they contact me because they have something that they really want to accomplish, and this is the only way they can do it is to increase their mortgage, or they are in a bad, tight spot and they need to increase their mortgage, I'll listen. But otherwise, no, I never call people and approach them suggesting them to do it. Which is right? Which is fair? You tell me.